Okay, so I know this video is coming out a little bit late. I wanted to have it on the 1st of December, but things have been busy. So I'm going to give you an update on what's going on in the reptile room. Plus, we're going to take a look at each individual snake that I currently own. Okay, so first up, we're going to take a look at the two balls that I have. I have two ball pythons, and I apologize for the echo, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's take a look at the snakes, because that's probably what you're here for first anyways. So first up is my albino ball python. She's been with me for quite some time. She's a long-time favorite of the channel, and she is still with me and still doing great. Kind of went off feeding a bit, but that's typical for this time of year. So she's still eating some, as those, they do. And we got a little bit of stuck shed, but for the most part, she shedded off completely. It was just a little bit on her neck. We will get her soaking and get that little patch off. But yeah, so that is the albino ball python. So up next is again another ball python, and this is the cinnamon super pastel. Another little female. The other one is a female, if I didn't mention that. This one is actually in shed, so we'll make certain that the humidity is bumped inside the tub. In these winter months, once we start getting these colder, drier months here in northern Ohio, humidity starts to become a little bit more of a struggle, if you will, especially with a reduction of the collection. So that's fine. We've got them on some nice aspen shavings, or not aspens, cedar shavings, and I'll just hydrate it. I've got a spray. I can just spray and add a little bit of humidity inside the tub. But yeah, another great little snake, feeding pretty strong on some adult mice. But we'll put her back. Up next is going to be the corn snakes that I just recently acquired within the last month and a half or so. I have 5 corn snakes, and I'm going to get them out, but they are babies, so it's going to be a little hard to see them like this. So I'll drop in some B-roll footage of them eating and just kind of doing their thing to give you a closer, better look at what I've got going on. First up, this one is the bigger one of the corns that I do own, and this is an A melanistic corn snake, a nice little male corn snake, or at least it was sold to me as a male. I haven't double checked it, but we will in time. Again, once this snake gets a little bigger, it's going to go into this rack down here. Same with the rest of these, but they are still babies yet. This one was sold to me as a 2-year-old. I'm thinking that, this size is more the size of possibly a 1-year-old, maybe. But yeah, I guess it's probably not too far from a 2-year-old. But if it is truly a male, that's not too bad. If you're breeding, you want your males, you'd like for your males to be a little bit smaller anyways, because their contribution to the production process is limited. So if they're a little bit on the small side, it does not affect them as an egg-bearing female. You want her primed. You want her to be her optimal size for carrying eggs and delivering the eggs and all that. So, but we'll see how this guy does. Great little snake, very easily handleable. As you can see, he's very, very lively. But that's corn snakes, right? So we'll put him back. Move up one tub. And this is the more spunkier of the corn snakes that I have. And this here is a coral anery. Yeah, it's gonna be a little hard to see as try to get it to focus. Well, the snake's got to sit still long enough for it to focus. All right, as you can see, a bit of a squirmer. This one actually often likes to try to bite, but again, we will get. Let's see if we can get to focus. You got to sit still, little fella. This was sold to me as a female. Hopefully it is. I really like what I like about these guys. There it goes. Now he's in defensive mode. So now he's gonna sit still. Nope, now he's off. Or she, I should say. What I like about these is that high pink that we get on these with the against the gray body. So we're gonna put this little girl away and move on to the next one. So up next is the blizzard corn snake. I really like the way these guys look. And blizzard is amelanistic and charcoal combined into one animal. So very, very beautiful. It gives it a different white looking color than what we see in like the snows. And the opals, which is the lavender amels. And of course the snow is amel and antheristic. So, but yeah, very beautiful snake. I do not know the sex of it, but again, at this point, it's not too important. But as you can tell, this one is a little bit calmer than the other one. So nice little baby corn snake. Okay, so next I do have a snow corn. Let's get it to focus on the snake and not me. So this is a snow corn, and it has a lot of pinks in it, but it was because it has the strawberry line in one of its parents, which is a very like red or pinkish hypo line that we have here in corn snakes. So that could be contributing to the high amounts of pink on this animal. Of course, there could be other factors in there as well. It could also just simply been line bred to be lots of pinks. We are getting a fair amount of yellow down the neck. Typically, I don't really care for that in the snows, but for whatever reason, it doesn't look too bad on this snake here. So ultimately, what I'm hoping for, fingers crossed, that if it works out that this is a male and that little anery is a female, like it was sold to me as, and then we will produce some more snows and aneries, well, possible snows. Definitely some aneries, and hopefully some aneries with a lot more pink on them, and maybe even some snows with some pink on them as well, but time will tell. So, but for now, regardless of the sex, I am very pleased with this little fella. So that is a snow corn snake. So the last snake corn snake I have to share with you is this little fella here, which is a scaleless corn snake. Very beautiful. I picked this guy from his siblings for the fact that I think, and maybe this is, you know, take it for a grain of salt. I'm not absolutely saying this, that's what's happening here, but with these, what appears to be the large, bold pattern there, kind of is reminiscent of what we get with the Okatees. So there may be some Okatee influence in this, not really for sure. But if I were to pair this snake with an animal in the future, I would definitely look for something that has a very good Okatee pattern, and just try to you know, really make that pattern bold in future generations, whether it is Okatee or whether it is Scaleless, just to really try to bring that pattern out, would be an end game goal if I were to, you know, put this into a breeding project. Of course, it's Scaleless, so anything I put it into is going to be a decent project, because the Scaleless babies look way different than their scaled counterparts. So, but I'm not going to keep this guy out for very long. He is a very, very picky eater. So I try to keep the stress level down for this little guy until we get some good, strong feeding responses from him. So he mostly just kind of chills in his tub without too much of, try to reduce the amount of stress that I put on this fella. So that is it for this snake and for the corn snakes. I have one more snake to show you guys, so stay tuned. Okay, so the final snake I'm going to show you is this here, and that is my beautiful green tree python. Now this is a snake you typically do not handle, but I got to be cleaning out that cage and getting everything good and scrubbed down. So I thought I'd kill two birds with one stone, give you guys a different look at this snake while at the same time prepping its cage to be get totally cleaned down. And it also gives me the opportunity to really look this animal over. And man, tell you what, this is one beautiful snake. Let's see if we can't get it to stop focusing on me. Don't turn back that way. Let's get it focused. Focus. There we go. It's kind of focused. But this snake has got some very nice blue pattern on it, and with these yellow, there we go. Let's get this to focus. Come on, focus on that. With these little yellow accent spots. Again, this is not a typical snake that you would handle. Again, this is probably, in the last year, this is maybe the second or third time that I've even held this animal. But it's nice to, you know, get it out at least once in a while, you know, every great once in a while, just to check on the animal, give it a good once over, make certain that everything's going okay with it. And man, I tell you what, this animal is stunning. I'm going to try to capture some B-roll, if you're not already seeing it now, of the beautiful colors that this snake has on there. Man, just the pastel blue that's on there, and then it's green, and then down here toward the bottom of the belly, it's got this nice pastel yellow freckled in with that blue and that green. Man, what a stunning specimen. You are a stunning specimen of an animal. And I don't know if I can get it on this camera, but it's got two yellow spots right in front of the eyes, which is interesting. Nice belly full. I'm really concerned that this thing might do the number 2 on me. So, and we don't want that. These things, it's nasty. The nastiness. So, ate a small mouse last week, so I'm anticipating that it's going to make its grand entrance into the world again. But let's go ahead and get this guy put back. And but I just want to thank you for watching. That is it for the snakes. I'm going to change the camera angle, show you what's going on in the reptile room. I know it's kind of echoey, and I'm going to explain why that is. So let me put this guy away, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, so this is the reptile room. You guys seen it before in past videos, but you know, lots of things have changed. There's a video explaining more on that. I'm not going to really get into it much into this video. Just go back a few videos and you'll probably find it. But as far as snakes, I just have that one rack, and just as you've seen, I only have the 2 ball pythons in the top. I've got 5 baby corns in the rack up on top. But this is what I want to talk about right here. This big old space, this is pretty much what I've got, what I'm going to be working with as far as expanding, working on some customized caging that I want to build. So what we have is I have a 6-foot space right here, and I'm going to come out about 2 feet, and I want to go about 6-7 feet tall. And I'm going to custom build this. This will be, I think it's going to be broke down into 4 cages, and then on the very bottom will be, I'll build the shelving unit for drawers to just hide the reptile supplies and stuff. So that way it's a little bit more tedious than, like, I've got everything. Of course, you see that cage right there. That's a future build. I'm working on it. That is not where the green tree python is. That is for something different. Actually, you can't see the green tree python cage but it's right there. And my computers, everything is on this wall. And behind you goes back into the house, and you can see the light switches, and the door goes out to the garage. So that's the layout of the room, and we've seen this. You go back and look at the videos, you'll see, you can kind of get a feel for, you know, how much space there is. But back to this. So what I'm going to be working on is a big custom cage. Now, one compartment is going to be for the green tree python. I think I previously said I was going to do a 2x2x2 cube for him. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to scratch that. Actually, it's going to be 3 feet long, 2 feet deep, and 2 feet tall. So that means there's going to be a cage below him. It's going to be roughly the same dimension. I have spoke about getting a second green tree python, getting a red little neonate. While I still might do that, I'm kind of thinking maybe not. I like the ideal of it, but I think I've got a better red snake that I could do in that same size footprint, and that's all I'm going to say about that. So then we have on the other side, which will be, I can do one large 3 foot by 2 foot deep by about 5 to 6 feet tall, one big cage. And there's a couple animals that I'm interested in possibly doing that for, or I might split that cage up and make it 4 cages. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out exactly what I want. One of my dreams have been for a while is to build a paludarium type setup and have a like a biotope type setup where it's all animals from that region, say the Amazon. You know, so that way I'd have a water in there, and we'd have fish and aquatic animals that come from there. Maybe something that lives low in the ground, on the ground, in there, and then have another animal that inhabits the canopy, if you will, in there. But the problem is you know, once you really start mixing a lot of things in, you really got to have things dialed in. You got to be careful of what you mix. Always something doesn't eat something, and so that is what I'm trying to figure out. And then I have other ways of making it look like it's, I have an ideal of how to make it all look like it's together, but technically it isn't. So like the canopy animal will actually never be able to get to the water feature, but these are all ideals that I have just going in my head. But for now, I have this blank canvas and of a spot, and I really want to optimize it for my enjoyment. I could easily just fill this space with a bunch of racks. We can get a bunch of snakes and lizards and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that isn't what makes me happy. I want to be able to see a nice living environment, if you will. Or at least make it look like it. You know, even if you gotta do fake plants, I like things that look as realistic as I can get them. If I can't do real, I prefer to do real. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going with over here. So, and the other thing is, and this might be a little more painful for you guys as far as subscribers go, but I'm thinking what I'm going to do is build it. Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to build it and film it. But the thing is though, I won't release the first build video of the series until the thing is done. So, and I'm going to, I think this is going to take me, I don't know, it could take me, it's definitely going to take me a couple months. Could take me longer until I finally nail down exactly. Like I said, I have the one side figured out. It's the other side. There are a few animals that I'm interested in getting, and I think I can get both of them and make them work, but neither one of them will really work in a paludarium style setup. So do I just try to find, I don't really want to be in front of the window with a cage, just because of the drafts from the cold and the heat from the summertime. So I don't really want to put anything in front of there. But that's where I'm at. That's the update. That's the reptile room update. That's the collection update. You've seen the snakes. Depending on when you see this video, there's an upcoming show I'm going to attend. I'm going to try to make it fun and entertaining as much as I can. So yeah, that's what we're going on. It's going to be a build. I'm going to build it from scratch, and obviously take you guys along. So we'll see how that goes. I also have ideals of other videos, but they're more on the creative side than opposed to just being simply an animal thing. I've got some build tutorials, some smaller ones to that I want to work on, and that just will help keep some content rolling on the channel. Because I think this is going to be a nice build series. It's just going to take time before I can publish it for all you guys to see. So maybe in future videos you'll catch a glimpse of it in the background, but yeah, there will be a complete build series on that. So that's it. That's all I've got for this video. If you've stayed this long, you might as well hit that subscribe button, because for whatever reason you liked something in this video, and I'm just going to keep doing more videos like this anyways. So if you like reptiles, reptile themed videos, entertaining stuff with reptiles or reptile themed antics, like what you may have seen at the beginning of this video, yeah, subscribe and jump on into this craziness that we call the Reptile Jones YouTube channel. Till next time, later.
Shut up and sit down.